Liar. Godless liar. Well, that's it. It's officially Jover. Yeah, Eric, it is, because I rewound it so I could watch the beginning. I wanted to watch it and not miss it. And since my stream just went live, that's why I started when I did. It's not that far behind, though. Say his middle name, Robinette. A girl's name. My dude can barely fucking walk. No, it is not. Lying ass. Liar! You do not think it is. What? So his entire speech is going to be a big fat lie, right? That's what I'm picking up on here. Not really. What violence? Man, Corn Pop should have finished the fucking job, chat. He was not a bad enough dude. Turn it up. Isn't that the lyrics to some song from the 80s? A time to hope, a time to heal, a time to live by. Oh my god. Can we fucking stop with the racial bullshit? The next 4 years is gonna be a fucking, what Biden calls a racial jungle. Who's smoking with you? I'm about to hit this vape, Perry. I hate Joe Biden. Birdie. Is he wearing a straitjacket? I haven't seen him. What's up, Tough Nut? How you doing, bud? I'm chilling, buddy. Bye, Sperry. No idea who the fuck that is. Bop. Hold on.
It will never happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Not ever.
Sorry, chat. Is that better? Okay. I had a setting
To all
wrong.
those who supported our campaign, I'm humbled by the faith you've placed in us. To all those who did not support us, let me say this.
Sorry, David. Thank you
Hear
for
me
telling
out
me.
as we move forward. Take a measure of me and my heart. And if you still disagree, so be it.
I apologize.
That's democracy. That's America. The right to dissent peaceably within the guardrails of our republic is perhaps this nation's greatest strength. Yet hear me clearly. Disagreement must not lead to disunion. And I pledge this to you. I will be a president for all Americans. All Americans. And I promise you, I will fight as hard for those who did not support me as for those who did. Many centuries ago, St. Augustine, a saint of my church, wrote that a people was a multitude defined by the common objects of their love. Defined by the common objects of their love. What are the common objects we as Americans love that define us as Americans? I think we know. Opportunity, security, liberty, dignity, respect, honor, and yes, the truth. Recent weeks and months have taught us a painful lesson. There is truth and there are lies. Lies told for power and for profit. And each of us has a duty and a responsibility as citizens, as Americans, and especially as leaders. Leaders who have pledged to honor our Constitution and protect our nation, to defend the truth and defeat the lies. Look, I understand that many of my fellow Americans view the future with fear and trepidation. I understand they worry about their jobs. I understand, like my dad, they lay in bed wondering, can I keep my health care? Can I pay my mortgage? Thinking about their families, about what comes next. I promise you, I get it. But the answer is not to turn inward, to retreat into competing factions, distrusting those who don't look like you, or worship the way you do, or don't get their news from the same sources you do? We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue, rural versus urban, conservative versus liberal. We can do this if we open our souls instead of hardening our hearts, if we show a little tolerance and humility, and if we're willing to stand in the other person's shoes, as my mom would say, just for a moment, stand in their shoes.
Look at this little
Because
piece of
here's the
hair on
thing
top
about
of his
life.
fucking head. Just like...
There's no accounting for what fate will deal you. Some days, when you need a hand. There are other days when we're called to
when you
lend a
need
hand.
two hands.
That's how it has to be. This is what we do for one another. And if we are this way, our country will be stronger, more prosperous, more ready for the future. And we can still disagree. My fellow Americans, in the work ahead of us, we're going to need each other. We need all our strength to persevere through this dark winter. We're entering what may be the toughest and deadliest period of the virus. We must set
great, they're gonna
aside
ramp up the
politics and
virus.
finally face this pandemic as one
SARS-CoV-2.
nation.
COVID-21.
One nation. And I promise you this,
SARS-CoV-3, I mean.
as the Bible says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. We will get through this together. Together.
Sounds like what he
Look,
tells
folks,
prostitutes.
all my colleagues I serve with in the
Whatever
House and
age
the
it might
Senate
be.
up here, we all understand the world is watching all of us today. So here's my message to those beyond our borders. America has been tested,
Americas.
and we've come out stronger for
What
it.
the fuck is Americas?
We will repair our alliances
Keep saying
and
that.
engage with the world once again. Not to meet yesterday's challenges, but today's and tomorrow's challenges. And we'll lead not merely by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. We'll be a strong and trusted partner for peace, progress, and security. Look, you all know we've been through so much in this nation. And my first act as president, I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silent prayer. Remember all those who we lost in this past year to the pandemic. Those 400,000 fellow Americans, moms, dads, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, friends, neighbors, and co-workers. We'll honor them by becoming the people and the nation we know we can and should be. So I ask you, let's say a silent prayer for those who've lost their lives and those left behind, and for our country. Amen. Folks, this is a time of testing. We face an attack on our democracy and on truth, a raging virus, growing inequity, the sting of systemic racism, a climate in crisis, America's role in the world. Any one of these would be enough to challenge us in profound ways. But the fact is, we face them all at once, presenting this nation with one of the gravest responsibilities we've had. Now we're going to be tested. Are we going to step up, all of us? It's time for boldness, for there's so much to do. And this is certain. I promise you, we will be judged, you and I, by how we resolve these cascading crises of our era. We will rise to the occasion is the question. Will we master this rare and difficult hour? Will we meet our obligations and pass along a new and better world to our children? I believe we must. I'm sure you do as well. I believe we will. And when we do, We'll write the next great chapter in the history of the United States of America, the American story. A story that might sound something like a song that means a lot to me. It's called American Anthem. And there's one verse that stands out, at least for me, and it goes like this. The work and prayers of century have brought us to this day. What shall be our legacy? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you. Let's us add our own work and prayers to the unfolding story of our great nation. If we do this, then when our days are through, our children and our children's children will say of us, they gave their best, they did their duty, they healed a broken land. My fellow Americans, I close the day where I began, with the sacred oath. Before God and all of you, I give you my word. I will always level with you. I will defend the Constitution. I'll defend our democracy. I'll defend America. And I'll give all of you, keep everything I do in your service, thinking not of power, but of possibilities, not of personal interest, but the public good. And together we shall write an American story of hope, not fear, of unity, not division, of light, not darkness, a story of decency and dignity, love and healing, greatness and goodness. May this be the story that guides us, the story that inspires us, and the story that tells ages yet to come that we answered the call of history. We met the moment. Democracy and hope, truth and justice did not die on our watch but thrived. That America secured liberty at home and stood once again as a beacon to the world. That is what we owe our forebears, one another, and generation to follow. So, with purpose and resolve, we turn to those tasks of our time, sustained by faith, driven by conviction, and devoted to one another and the country we love with all our hearts. May God bless America, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, America.
The inaugural address of Joseph Robinette Biden, now 46th President of the United States. Powerful, personal, emotional at times, delivered with command. The new president called Americans to empathy and action. He noted those events of 2 weeks ago, the siege of the Capitol, noted that our democracy is fragile, is precious, but it has prevailed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
As I said, he called Americans to empathy, saying, we can't harden our hearts, we must open our souls, put ourselves in each other's shoes, as his mother taught him.
Garth Brooks to perform Amazing Grace.
That should be taps. Is that Garth fucking Brooks? Peak Clown World. Garth Brooks is the weirdest dude ever.
Amazing grace, how sweet.
Oh no. Have you ever seen his videos online ever of him talking?
Saved a wretch like me.
The weirdest fucking dude.
I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but
it's not windy, he's just farting.
I see.
He's just ripping ass.
when we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun.
They got Garth Brooks, guys.
We've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. If I can ask you to sing this last verse with me, not just the people here, but the people at home, at work, as one, united.
He can't be happy. His taxes are gonna fucking skyrocket, bro.
The sound that saved.
And plus, he makes so much money touring, and they're gonna shut down touring. They're not gonna let him tour. This guy is stupid.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
No one's singing with them. That's funny.
Garth Brooks, Amazing Grace.
Oh, so won't affect people with $100
Echoing the new
million.
president's calls to unite America.
Because Garth Brooks is fucking loaded. Fucking loaded.
We'll now hear a poem from Amanda Gordon. Not quite social distance there for Garth Brooks. Hugs there. Former President Bill Clinton.
He thinks everyone
Former First Lady.
is so excited to hug him
Guess
and
he
meet
can't
him and
help
shit.
himself.
He thinks everyone wants to hug him and shit.
Roy Blunt.
Hard not to be reminded of President Obama's singing that same song at the Mother Emanuel Church. A song that in our culture is as close to both poetry and prayer as you could possibly come. And we're going to finish with those two things. Let me introduce Amanda Gorman, our nation's first ever National Poet Laureate.
Do you guys see a picture of the new Director of Health? Go look that up. If you want to have a quick gig. I am the ambassador from Uganda.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans,
That hairstyle is
and the
not
world.
good.
When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. And the norms and notions of what just isn't always just is.
Oh my god.
And yet the dawn is hours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one.
Yes,
And
hope,
yes,
my
we
brother.
are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gaze not to what stands between us, but what stands before us.
Some sort of interpretive dance?
We close the divide because we know to put
She's
our future
doing
first. We must first put our differences aside. We
a slam poetry session.
So we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true.
Wow.
That even as we grieved, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever
She's
be
doing
tied
Def
together,
Jam.
victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare it. Because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it in its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the west. We will rise from the wind-swept northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked south. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Jesus Christ, get off the stage, bro.
How's that for a national debut?
Bad.
As America's first National Youth Poet Laureate.
Gorge in Wilmington, Delaware, a friend of President Biden for 30 years.
This is, in my hand there are two pills. This is the blue pill, and this is the red pill.
As a nation and people of faith gathered in this historical moment,
Blade, that's what I was going for.
in
Blade.
prayer.
Couldn't think of any Blade quotes.
God,
Oh, I was like,
we
who does he
gather under
remind
the
me
beauty
of?
of your holiness
Blade is definitely it.
and the holiness of your beauty. We seek your face,
Judge
your
Dredd.
smile, your warm embrace.
Good one.
We petition you once more in this celebration. We pray for divine favor upon our President, Joseph R. Biden, and our First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, and their family. We further ask that you would extend the same favor
Wesley
upon our
Snipes,
Vice President,
ever since he got
Kamala
busted
D.
for
Harris,
tax evading,
and our
he
second
had to
gentleman,
work for the
Doug
government ever since
Emhoff,
to make up for
and
it.
their family. More than ever, they and our nation need you.
This is some fucking bullshit, chat.
We need you, for in you we discover our common humanity. In our common humanity, we will seek out the wounded and bind their wounds. We will seek healing for those who are sick and diseased.
If
We will
Corn Pop
mourn
came
our
out,
dead.
challenge Joe to
We will befriend the lonely, the
60
least,
South
and the
Street
left
fight.
out. We will share our abundance with those who are hungry. We will do justly to the oppressed, acknowledge sin,
throws him a
and
length of
seek
chain,
forgiveness,
then pulls
thus
out a rusty
grasping
pool
reconciliation.
razor. He's like,
In discovering our humanity,
we have to finish
we
what
will
we
seek
started.
the good in and for
Joe.
all our neighbors.
Should I say Robinette?
We will
When
love
used
the
to call you
unlovable.
back at the pool.
Remove the stigma of the so-called
2 8-year-old guys fighting it
untouchables.
out.
We will care for our most vulnerable, our children, the elderly, emotionally challenged, and the poor. We will seek rehabilitation beyond correction. We will extend opportunity to those locked out of opportunity. We will make friends of our enemies. We will make friends of our enemies. People, your people, shall no longer raise up weapons against one another. We will rather use our resources for the national good and become a beacon of life and goodwill to the world. And neither shall we learn hatred anymore. We will lie down in peace and not make our neighbors afraid. In you, O God, we discover our humanity. In our humanity, we discover our commonness. Beyond the difference of color, creed, origin, political party, ideology, geography, and personal preferences. We'll become greater stewards of your environment, preserving the land, reaping from it a sustainable harvest.
She's sleeping.
And securing its wonder and miracle-giving power for generations to come. This is our benediction, that from these hallowed grounds, where slaves labored to build this shrine and citadel to liberty and democracy, let us all acknowledge, from the indigenous Native American to those who recently received their citizenship, from the African American to those whose foreparents came from Europe and every corner of the globe, from the wealthy to those struggling to make it, from every human being regardless of their choices, that this is our country.
Regardless of their
As
choices.
such, teach us, O God.
What if they decide to
As such, teach us,
go on
O
a crime
God,
spree?
to live in it, love in it, be healed in it, and reconcile to one another in it, lest we miss kingdom's goal.
What's up with the
To your
preachers
glory,
today?
majesty,
shit
dominion,
sucks.
and power forever. Hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. In the strong name of our collective faith. Amen.
And a woman.
Please remain standing as the Armed Forces Color Guard retires our national color.
Echoes
That's
of Martin Luther
politics.
King Jr. there. In the benediction of Reverend Dr. Sylvester Beeman, with a prayer and a plea for unity in this country so deeply divided right now. Cecilia Vega, unity, the theme of the day, the theme of this inaugural ceremony, the theme of Joe Biden's presidential.
Was an inaugural speech a legitimacy. He attempt to retake the pandemic.
Hey, it's Bush.
And of course, without mentioning President Trump, the country's going to have to come together. Put aside your differences and work towards some common goals. As he said, without unity, there is no progress. And of course, without mentioning President Trump's name, it was a clear rejection
There's
of
Obama.
Trumpism. I kept thinking about
that
famous line that Donald
right
Trump
there.
said, "I alone can fix it." The message today from Joe Biden was, "We alone can fix it." If this country has any hope of moving forward, it is going to take everyone coming together. And as Cecilia said, that message to the more than 70 million Americans who voted for President Trump was quite simple and very classic Joe Biden. Him essentially saying, just give me a chance.
Give him a chance to use that, folks, a few times. Rachel Scott up there on Capitol Hill, part of that message, I will be a president for all Americans.
That's exactly what he was saying, and it was his main message on the campaign trail. It was the theme of this inauguration here today, and of course, it comes only 2 weeks after we saw what was an insurrection here at the Capitol. Joe Biden saying, "This is a new chapter. Let's turn the page. Let's write this." And
switch it to live.
Lincoln, right there.
Full on live.
Echoes Lincoln on the eve of Civil War in 1861, the worst domestic crisis that we have ever faced as a nation. We, of course, faced one 2 weeks ago, George. But I think what President Biden said at the top of his speech most resonated with me, which is, this is democracy's day. Democracy has prevailed. Despite what we saw from President Trump, his trying to sabotage this election, calling on insurrectionists to seize the Capitol, to try to overturn the result, to try to overthrow our country. Democracy triumphed. This today was a triumph of democracy.
Martha Raddatz, thank you. Mark, that was clearly the message that the new president had for the world as well. America has been tested, but we have come out stronger.
Exactly the message she was portraying. We will repair our alliances, lead not by power, but the power of our example and our leadership. A strong message to the world. And of course, there are congratulations coming in from all over the world, as would be expected. Look, the world has to deal with whoever is president. And I know foreign leaders around the world during the Trump administration were just holding their breath. I also look, and I'm looking there at Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Mark Milley, who was among the crowd there today.
What is that?
He will remain chairman of the Joint Chiefs, but he had a very tough balancing act during this period. I know there's probably a sigh of relief over at the Pentagon that Iran didn't act up in the last couple of weeks, because there were certainly plans to respond to any attack from Iran. Mark Milley, of course, was caught up in the politics of Donald Trump, making that walk with him through Lafayette Park when they were going after peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters. I know Milley peeled away from the crowd there, but apologized for that, knew that was wrong, and then carried on and with his advice to the president. Also, all the military up there, George. I was looking at the Marine when he escorted Lady Gaga, as we see there still down, and thinking, boy, that's got to make his day. Probably never imagined that he would be escorting Lady Gaga. Probably as surprised as we all were with your descriptions of the outfits, George. We like that a lot.
There we see the Speaker of the House. Chairman, I have to say, just watching those last few moments as Martha was talking, how refreshing to see presidents, former presidents, just sitting up there on the steps of the Capitol under siege 2 weeks ago, just chatting.
A return to some kind of normalcy. Look, those presidents did not agree with each other. They had their disagreements. In some ways, George Bush was elected to refute the presidency of Bill Clinton, and certainly Barack Obama to refute the presidency of George W. Bush. But in keeping with our tradition, there they are. And that's really what we heard, I think, in this inaugural address, plain spoken. And although he didn't put it this way, I think Joe Biden was diagnosing the problem that is causing the disunity. He said our real foes are anger and resentment and hatred, and that without unity, there's no peace, only bitterness and fury, no progress, only exhausting outrage. That worst
4 years, a long time,
chat, that everybody seems to give themselves permission to be on social media. And it's really a problem of national character. Benjamin Franklin said, only a virtuous people are capable of freedom. And by virtue, he meant those common sense, common decency attributes that Joe Biden embodies and lives by. And I think that's the note he tried to strike in his speech. If it can help at all, it was probably the right note.
Barack Obama is a happy man today. You can definitely see that right there. A lot of fist bumps, a lot of elbow bumps. Byron, I was going to ask you about Biden's speech, but you probably want to talk about Amanda Gorman.
Right? I mean, she was phenomenal, George. And watching this moment, today's inauguration felt more
Biden's
like a church
time
service, right? I mean, and we see there that, like after a good sermon, the congregation doesn't want to go home, right? People are still hugging, shaking hands. And I thought from Joe Biden today, certainly he was commander-in-chief, but he was also papa-in-chief. He gave a speech to comfort the nation. He said, in part, to those who did not vote for me, if you still disagree, so be it. Disagreement must not lead to disunion. So it was a unifying speech. And, George, if you think about it, it's a 4.5-hour drive from Scranton, Pennsylvania, where Biden's from, to the White House in Washington. It took Joe Biden 78 years from the shy side of blue collar to become the most powerful person on earth. That remains only possible in America. We are not a perfect nation, as he reminded us today, but the nation, the promise of America, remains today like no other on earth. And I think Joe Biden, this ceremony, even the presence of Mike Pence today, reminds us what is so unique about our nation.
Chris Christie, thank you, Byron. Did Joe Biden meet the moment?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he gave the speech he needed to give. And but again, today is today. And then tomorrow work starts. And I think for all of us, whether it was Rahm as mayor or me as governor, you know, the day you get sworn in is an amazing day, and you speak to your highest aspirations. And then the next day, everybody shows up to work. And then you got to decide how are you going to execute on the aspirations that you spoke. And that's the great challenge that faces the president and faces everyone. I would say that I think that President Trump missed a moment at the very beginning of his presidency. He could have brought people together through beyond the infrastructure package that the country desperately needed, and gotten Republican and Democratic votes for it. I hope that President Biden puts that up pretty early on to show that he can make the aspirations that he spoke about today a reality of governing. If he does that, it will make him a more powerful president.
The hard work is going to begin immediately. COVID front and center, his COVID relief bill, as we see. The new Vice President of the United States saying farewell to the
been here on the cloud
man
car
who was Vice President of the United States for the last 4 years, Mike Pence and Karen Pence. He served in the House as well. Now his first walk down those Capitol steps as a former Vice President of the United States.
You're rigging the vote. I see you. Probably gonna get away with it too.
Rahm Emanuel, your thoughts on the speech?
I'd make 2 quick points. These days are usually self-asserting about democracy and the American story. I think when you look at the whole day's event, it's almost becoming self-reassuring about America's story and its democracy. We have to actually convince ourselves, given what happened 2 weeks ago. The second is, the American motto is out of many one. And underneath all of this is a basic point that after the last 4 years, we deviated from that motto. And I think when you really strip back what Joe Biden was talking about was reasserting that motto as our North Star. The poem, which we all said, I mean, I think she stole the day, and I think we're going to hear a lot. That's the first we've heard it, not the last we've heard it from Ms. Gorman. But that motto is our North Star. And I think Joe Biden, in his own biography, but also his words, was reminding all of us that out of many is one, and that is the project of America, and that's the project of a president who's unique in America to lead us towards that, no matter how many different ways the twists and turns it has. And I think that today he's started his presidency on a step forward, but it was a big step given the last 4 years.
Sarah Fagan delivered with such conviction.
Such conviction, and I agree so much with Byron that there is so much religion infused in this speech and unity. I don't remember an inaugural where references to God were so prevalent. And in some ways, I don't know that the Biden team thought of it this way, but it was a unique way to reach out to Trump's America. If you look at evangelical Christians, they overwhelmingly supported the president. If you look at church attendance in this country, the more likely you attend church more than once, huge numbers of those individuals supported the Republicans. that was a way for him to reach out without getting into politics.
A beautiful day, a beautiful set of speeches, lots of great words. I do want to echo that young woman, Gorman, who just reminds us America's best kept secret. Black women are magic. We are brilliant. We are special. We are beautiful. We are amazing. And she is going to go down in history.
I'm beautiful.
She did steal the day.
I'm special. And I'm amazing.
I always do.
Bitch.
There was one place where I wanted him to kind of step out a little more. And that was
Fuck is that shit about?
I think talked about being the president for everyone, and if you are not okay with that, okay, but I'm still going to serve
you. Might be a little bit more
back
special.
To John F.
though.
Kennedy, who said, "Ask not what your country will do for you, but what you will do for your country." And I think it's an important thing for him to say. Unity requires you to step up and do something too. The folks who came and stormed the Capitol 2 weeks ago, disenfranchised, feeling left out. Guess what? A lot of us have felt that way, and we continue to show up and we fight for this country that is not perfect, that has not served us. And I wanted him to say, re-engage. You need to be a part of the solution, and I hope we see that coming out. Don't let these folks off the hook. We need them to be a part of the solution. He's not going to come to them and feed them from his hand. They have to come to the table. They have to be prepared to sacrifice and fight for the unity that they require and that they expect.
I think it was a call for all Americans to come together on that score, but perhaps not as direct as you would have liked to have heard, but he was clearly calling Americans to engage again, as we saw. And as we see these pictures now from the Capitol, we see President... Actually, no, I'm not sure that's President Obama again, so I'm not going to say it. But I do want to go to Rachel Scott. You were there for those moments where Vice President Kamala Harris was saying goodbye to Mike Pence.
I was, George, and I looked up on those steps and I thought about 232 years. 232 years in our nation's history where we have seen men stand on those steps. 48 vice presidents, now today the nation getting their first woman of color, of Black and Indian descent, to serve as vice president of the United States. And this moment will not be lost for so many women of color in this country who have been told to wait their turn, who have been told to stand by, who have been told that this moment was not for them. And Kamala Harris, the vice president, said that when she took the oath of office, that she would be thinking about her mother who inspired her mother who told her to never listen to the word no. And we talk so much about Amanda, the poet that we heard from today, but this line I keep thinking about from her today, where she said that we, the successors of a country at a time where a skinny Black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president only to find herself reciting for one, George.
It was a remarkable moment right there. We see President Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton there as well, making their way through the Capitol.
Kamala Harris was so hard on
of course,
criminals.
that's not possible in this age of COVID. The President Biden will be signing some papers there in the
she
Capitol.
Gave people
lifetime
sentences for being
down to
Black,
the White House and
basically.
military parade. We're going to stay with you all
that's not really true, but she'd give people maximum sentences.
With the former presidents of the United States.
A lot of Black people
continue
maximum
after this quick
sentences.
break.
When she was a DA or whatever, she was judged for being too harsh on minorities. Polar eclipse, what's going on, baby? Antifa, what a joke.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live, the 24/7 streaming news source.
What the frick? Alright, let's swap over to woke. What's going on here on this channel?
Said if I'd had my weapon, I could have had a shot at him. That's how close he was.
That would be the last speech he would make.
Now, speaking of Lincoln and the Civil War, flanking that door are figures of war and peace in those niches there on either side of the east front door. So again, the east front of the Capitol is the traditional
big
front
booty,
of the building. The Statue of Freedom on top faces this direction. Of course, you were just discussing the pediment, the sculpture that's there above the door. Of course, there's no part of the Capitol that's not ornate.
Oh.
And there is no back of the Capitol. There's an east front and there's a west front.
True.
And I think maybe we need to emphasize that today. So here, everything's happening on both fronts of the Capitol today. Here on the East Front, we saw arrivals coming in earlier. We've got departures, the pass and review coming up. And as for the actual swearing in, over on the West Front side.
Let's pop over to Solar.
All three branches of government. Oh.
This is shot inside the president's
Love
room,
the
folks.
press room. Friends, look at these beautiful floors. These are English Minton tiles from...
Minton tiles.
Oh, God.
Yeah, John Jeffrey, you were before, and very disrespectful. I'm trying to stay behind this over here. I'm trying to stay behind it. All you guys do is like the wicked.
We're gonna walk away for a second.
Hey, I am glad you're still alive, because it seems like you've been doing a lot of drugs, buddy. I prayed for her like 2 months ago at the top dollar.
Hey, it's all gas, no brakes. You guys saw that? Right there. Ass clapper. The day after the Super Bowl, bud. We'll be right back in there like swimming. Bro, you can heist now. Trust me, the points work. I got it to work, bitch. Yeah, dude. Fuck me, I figured it out. I worked so hard on it. Don't have any money here, that's true. You're gonna have to earn some cash.
You get a new clean plate.
You just put all your points into the you better hope you win this shit.
Kirsty, thank you so much for your support. Shout out to Kirsty.
If you lose, I'll give you some points.
Some of the times the mother dies, and the guy has to barbecue a lot and stuff. But the best thing is that the woman should be there doing things. Let me just explain everyone's in my marriage. I make the bacon, my wife.
I'm rich.
Because I work. Simple. We homeschool. Kids love us. They know capitalism. We play Monopoly. You guys let your kids go to public school and they turn out faggots, lesbos, and dykes.
Oh. This kid's language is all. This is crazy.
Jesus went around rebuking sinners. Read the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5, 6, 7. He called the whole crowd evil. He called them evil. If you, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more your Father in heaven? Wicked. You and your little 5 Facebook followers.
Yeah.
AIDS and he deserves AIDS, homo.
Sorry about the points not carrying over.
Now, let's turn James Stein around and talk about influence a little bit.
Here, I'll give everyone points.
Okay. Mohammed was a white man that
I think I can just give everyone 10k points.
Mohammed dressed like a tranny. And you guys think it's okay for Islam to take over America like they took over England. There's no more free speech in England.
So you guys have a little something to get us all going with the games.
That's the way to diffuse him. They're trolling him hard. Instead of getting angry, they're trolling the fuck out of him. I like that.
After free speech is gone, then you get a Hitler dictator. That's what happens. That's the order of it. No, you're going to have a worse one when you get rid of the Christians. When you get rid of the free speech.
Over here.
Oh, please, come with the Hitler. You watch you guys off. He does a lot of gratitude. When you guys were burning down cities back in June, it's not right.
There's certain positions where trolls come in handy, and that was one of those positions. Instead of getting angry at the dude, they trolled the shit out of him. And you can tell he doesn't know how to go on with it. He doesn't know what else to say. A lot of that crowd is heading back over in this direction now too.
Everyone check your points, please.
If you guys are watching, please make sure you guys hit that like button or spam those heart reactions. Share this out. You can share this to your page. You can share it to group pages. The more viewers we have, the more influence we have, and the more people see what's going on out here. Appreciate you guys all so much that are in the chat. Share this out. Please share this out.
Let's put it on CJ Media because it looks like he's interviewing people and shit.
Over the last 2 months. Oh, wow. So it's really cool to see.
And he has a wind filter, so that's good.
A changing of the guard, so to speak, you know, and like kind of like the group that's really present in the streets, and kind of like the the overall temperature of that group is. So this is nice. Everyone's really chill. It's really small. I thought I'd see a lot more people out here.
I thought so too. The streets were empty. It was like empty down here. I don't know. Like, I just think it's nice to be here in person. Like, even if you can't see it, and like watching it from here, and like, I don't know, being under the same sun, the same clouds, like that's really, really special.
I was trying to explain it to people, like, well, why would you want to go? You're not going to be able to. And I'm like, well, you're going to be in D.C. for the inauguration of the president.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's a big deal. You know.
Yeah. They're only a little bit away.
Yeah. Like, we talked to some folks from Texas, a younger group. They're like 20, and the one girl was like, "This is the first presidential election I got to vote in. You know, it's just we get a chance to be here. And just really cool to see like young people just excited to be a part of it. You know, be a part of democracy and the things that make this country great.
And like the whole way. And come to the inauguration.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're lucky.
Careful with the all button, Asclepius.
It's so really cool. Like, am I right?
Because you might
okay.
lose all your fucking points.
Fast. Blocks from here, and just like I don't know how you handle it.
I know.
Yeah, but like people flying from Texas and around the world is like, I don't know, it's pretty amazing. I just saw a celebrity walk by. I don't know if you caught him.
All gas, no brakes.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's from North. He's actually from Washington, Seattle.
Oh, really? Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've been crossing paths about at least once a month for the last 10 months. 12 months,
So I do a little radio show in Denver on an NPR affiliate, and I was actually supposed to interview him last summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He got tied up kind of, but we were texting back and forth, and I was like, let's do it. And he was like, I'm still down. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
So he's a really sweet guy. He's
super
really
nice, man. Just blew up, too. Like.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty rad.
Yeah, super cool. I got big shout out to his editor, man. Like,
I can't get the slats to work, but the emotes don't work until I'm partnered.
You know, he's good at like getting in there, and then the way they put that film together, their videos are just, they're hilarious. I didn't even know who we talked to each other a couple times in Portland on the fence. You know, in the federal. Then so we're sitting there, there's fires burning around us, and we were just chatting. And then I didn't know who he was at first, and then I got on there and I was like, wait a minute, man. And then there's like 2 billion views. I was like, this guy's bona fide. Yeah.
He just got signed to Adult Swim or Ghostly International or whatever that
Really?
shit is. So I think he's going to give a show on Adult Swim this year.
Yeah. 1 second.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bringing that independent, content creation to the next level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it worked really well. Tim Heidecker noticed him, and
Really?
I think the rest is history. Yeah.
That's all it takes is just that one big name.
I know. I was wondering if you could catch Eric Andre or like any of the, I don't know, Reggie Watts or anyone
Out
else
here?
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's funny when you cross paths with some of those cats and you don't even realize it. Until like tomorrow or whatever, and you're like, dude, you were just talking to, you know, like, what? You have no idea, man.
Sure, fair enough. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking a little bit about Baltimore. We actually just have had a new mayor come into office. His name is Brandon Scott, and basically, like, he is this young African American that grew up in Baltimore City in West Baltimore, and just like kind of an area that's not so good. And basically, like, it's really fascinating to see him like be elected as the mayor, and he's a young guy too.
Yeah.
So he's pretty progressive, and there's definitely distinguishing changes that are about to take place in the city.
No, why do I keep dying in the fucking?
I don't know. Our last mayor went to jail.
Really?
Mayor Catherine Pugh is in jail.
For what?
For a scandal on books that were called Coffee Holly, and basically it's like a moment of relief for us to have Brandon Scott come in as the new mayor.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. Just some wild. Yeah. It's wild. I mean, don't get me wrong. Baltimore is still a wild city, but it's fun. Yeah. It's really fun. It's a unique place to be. For sure. Yeah.
That's wild. I think that's what we need. Is a lot more.
Yeah. You need a lot more characters.
We need
all right, tough nut. See you later, buddy.
Exactly.
Bye.
We were talking about that with like the police force too, and they were talking about a lot of the defunding the police, and that things kept coming up. And one of the things they were talking about was a lot of the tenured officers were probably the first ones to lose positions. And and I saw where they were leaning with that. But one of the things that I think people are moving past in the viewpoint is that those if they don't, if the tenured officers they don't opt out, then you're going to lose a lot of kind of the young blood too.
My eyeballs hurt.
You have a lot of younger, more diverse cultured officers now that are coming in.
You just have to deal with this
because it's kind of an older structured police force. With politics, kind of the same thing. We need diversification as it comes up to kind of help, nurture.
I certainly agree with that. Like
more diverse understandings. Yeah.
Because like
where's Pantifa?
I would love to see like.
Didn't they stop getting paid?
Revised police force, but definitely, I'm not saying abolish the police in no way.
Right.
I'm saying that I want to see just younger, more progressive police force because like.
You should have slept through. I'm feeling that.
That lady.
Hey guys, don't forget to sub to the channel. And also.
Like the
follow get into the Discord.
I had to ask someone about that.
All the links
we were up in the chop
are
and,
in
I was asking someone who was
the
all about
description below.
And I was like, well, what happens if I were to steal that guy's bike?
And if you want
who's gonna stop
and
me?
you're able to,
so what if I were
we
to
accept
assault
donations.
You? What happens then?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we'd go to the community. I'm like, well, it would scare me because I was like, I was thinking, I'm trying to understand your viewpoint, but there needs to be somebody to kind of be the intermediary that buffers you from someone that could have potentially violent intent, like myself. But it's tough to know where that line is drawn.
CJ's a good guy, but
like sexual
he
assault,
is
like,
a fence humper,
right?
Just humping the shit out of the fence.
Pretty, I don't know. That's pretty detrimental, and therefore, I understand.
Yes, but also, like, there's no reason to spend all that money. Like, I mean, I see that there's, like, a need for police in certain contexts that are, like, more extreme, but the fact that there's so much money going into it, the police force that could...
I said sub and now you're hungry. Now I'm hungry that you said
like,
that you're hungry.
What would cost
and now I want a meatball sub.
Like, be pushed into
damn you.
A point where they feel like they have no other choice. Like, I think that there's... I don't think that we need the police force in any... scale that we have it right now.
Yeah, I think what is Seattle police budget is like $450 million or something.
It's
like that. And I think that it is scary when you see like full on like Bearcats, like tanks basically, and to enforce law on these people. But
in the land.
I think that reappropriating those funds into a situation where you have better social health care. You also have situations where there's mental health that's going to be present and working in tandem with the police, because that's something that you have armed officers that go to a case that's probably dealing with someone who's got some mental issues.
Yep.
So
I don't know. I'm all about prevention. I think that like if you can get to it earlier, like that's better. So I don't know. I'm in healthcare and I see the same thing all the time where it's like we're treating all of these diseases that are far far gone in terms of how bad they are, and like you can't do anything at that point. But like if we again invest in prevention, social services, other things, like it's all the same. At least healthcare, it's like the same reason that we have all these skyrocketing costs, because we're only dealing with the end result and not the actual.
We're hustling with the symptoms instead of the actual.
Exactly.
That's it's good notes to pass on. So hey, I appreciate you all taking the time to talk. CJ,
I'm James.
James, nice to meet you. What's your name?
Leah
and James. Pleasure to meet you both. All right, guys, take care.
This lady behind us was kind of like hanging around. I don't know if she wanted to. Or this guy here with the flag and the fancy glove.
Very dapper.
Very dapper. He spent some time picking his outfit out. Much like you.
Yeah. So I wonder what's got a lot of mobility going on right now. I wonder what that's all about. They got locked into the one spot, then they couldn't get out.
They finally got out.
We're just trying to leave, man. I wonder what all these folks are doing up on the hill over here. Oh, yeah. Let's walk down here and see what's going on.
There's guys came through. Is that Andrew?
It is. It is.
God, our media? What?
The elusive.
How you doing, dude? I get you your, I got your GoPro.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll meet up with you after.
Okay. Love you, man.
Alright, let's get a picture together.
Yeah.
I'm not a celebrity or anything. I just for work,
Huh. Yeah. So that's what's going on over there.
Do you know if they're going to come down this way?
I have no idea, man. They're not telling anybody anything. No, they're keeping it really tight to the vest.
I don't.
All I know is they look like law enforcement, so they wouldn't be there unless there's a reason.
Yeah, they've got.
Constitution Ave has all the like bulletproof glass and stuff like that going along it.
Right.
Even though the White House, I don't think.
I just died again on the boat. Stupid boat.
I think it's diversion. Could be India. Or some, well, I was, but it was just shot at there.
Well, I mean, are they?
I know that Biden walked off the stage.
I think they're heading over to Arlington Cemetery and do the wreath on the soldier.
I think they do that first.
Yeah. Well, they do that first, and then what happens?
Then they do the parade.
I think they're doing a virtual one this time around, right? I don't know if they're going to do the actual drive-through.
The maximum heist is 8,500, like that.
So I thought what they were going to do was he was going to leave from here and basically go right to the White House where they'll start filming things again.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What do you mean Biden walked off the stage? Really?
Andrews, or not Andrews Air Force Base. They were taking it to.
They're going to take the
Marine one.
Yeah, it's called the Max.
Oh, you know what? There was like three helicopters we just saw up over that way.
Yes, they're going to land at the White House.
Yeah, and then they're heading over to the. I know they're going over to the cemetery to do the wreath and the with the Obamas.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure when that's happening though.
Another thing is, there could be a caravan going one way, and then Congress could be coming in different cars and SUVs.
That is true, because where's all the guests that were at the inauguration going to be from?
That's right. There's no reason why they're here.
Well, that's the Capitol grounds right there, so.
Yeah, but the gates are doing just fine. They weren't there earlier.
Yeah,
That would be hilarious if Biden walked off the stage and fell off.
They're setting up for a reason.
And they're armed, too. That's the difference between the rest of the National Guard that's on the outside of the gates. They're all unarmed.
Right.
All these guys are fully flaked and loaded. So.
That's
well,
right.
That mainstream media group walked out about 20 minutes ago also.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
came
like
out
the
with, like, a guard.
like the press that they had in there. Yeah.
Right. I've been out here since, I would say, 9:30, 9:45.
Dang.
So these guys weren't there. Even though we're.
There's new checkpoints that popped up. Carla's been out since 7. Oh,
She beat me.
I went out and did some reporting, and I went back to my hotel room to write up some stuff.
Right.
And came back out to go back to where I'd been, and it was like, oh, there's new roadblocks and new soldiers. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, they did this before for a height security. They actually do diversions where they say, we're going to be taking this route, and then all of a sudden, that road, the pillars come up, and then you can't go. It keeps from terrorist attacks.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, you know, they call it the Secret Service for a reason, right?
Right.
They got to have some secrets.
And I've worked in this town for at least 10 years.
Okay.
And I'm not from here.
But you're getting used to it, it seems like.
Yep. They just made a noise.
Huh? Say it again.
Yeah, do that one more time.
I missed that. He's just waking him up, probably. He's like,
Yeah.
Y'all need to sound off. You've been standing here sleeping on the
Wake
job.
your legs up.
Yeah.
Don't lock your knees.
Man, I'll say that was scary. So I was in Louisville for Derby Days, and they had INFAC was in town. The Not Fucking Around Coalition, the all-black militia.
Yes.
And they're marching a couple hundred strong, just loaded. I mean, guns head to toe.
Right.
And it was probably like 100 degrees that day. It was super hot. But their thing is full mask, full cover, full all blacked out, everything. And I'm standing probably near that post, and that's exactly what happened. There's a guy, he was standing there, just knees locked, and he started doing this one.
Yes.
And he's holding his rifle, and he's boom, and he went back.
Went backwards.
Clapped out. Holding his gun, though.
They usually go straight.
Yeah, he locked up, just rocked it back.
Yeah.
Then there was another guy, so they had everyone sit down, and he just fell asleep.
Right.
They called the medic. I was like, he doesn't need a medic. He needs coffee, man. Like, they're just sitting in the sun baking. But the only issue they had with anyone being shot with that group was the year
I
before.
cannot survive off the boat. Davy Jones has my fucking number.
So it's scary when you see people
I'm
standing
gonna
around
risk
too
it
long.
for
You
the
got those wedding
biscuit this
videos of
time.
someone,
Christ all.
they stand at the office long and they, you don't want to see that when you got an M16 in your hand.
Right.
There's an accident. Yeah, you don't want to see an accident.
I was at a bunch of firemen funerals.
That's terrible.
Hot days. It was actually the tragedy after 9/11 in New Jersey with Gloucester City fire, where we lost 3 people and a handful of children.
Oh,
and New York came down, and it was a big deal. It just happened after 9/11, almost a year later. So they came down, and it took a whole street, probably about 8 or 9 blocks, full of firemen from different states, New York City, and I was one of them, honored to say. And there was people that would lock their knees because we were standing here for so long.
Yeah.
Passed out.
Man.
And I'm talking not backwards,
just
done. Like a stack of books, man.
If you're going to go down, that's the way to go down.
Yeah,
at least you got all this to catch you, Yeah,
at least you'll not
I'm a top-heavy dude, man. If I go forward or back, I'm smashing something up. Like,
Right.
hey, I'm not going to get back up from that too quick. Hopefully my legs can do me some good. They're the ones that put me down. They better catch me when I go down.
Right.
Gotta do their
So
job.
you guys down from south?
Nah, Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think that city's awesome.
Yeah, Seattle's great, man.
Yeah,
It's great.
I've been there 3 times, and I have to say, when it comes to homelessness, because I go to San Francisco a lot, they're like honored there. They like sleep right on the Capitol lawn.
Yeah, they
or the city hall.
The jail.
Like they don't even have a separate section under a bridge. They sleep right there in front of you.
Well, the issue is there's so much of it that like it's hard to do. You can't. So everywhere becomes a tent city. Like they just right along the sidewalks, all the way. But a lot of times they kind of sleep in areas where it's a little bit safer because there is a lot of, unfortunately, amongst that community,
It just seems more accepted there. Than shunned in a corner.
Oh, there is a cool down on
I don't
ice.
want homelessness anywhere.
That's right.
I just couldn't
You gotta
believe
wait a few minutes.
that I saw that. And then the other thing I like about Seattle, besides I think it's beautiful, is that I've never seen that many people exercising every day. It seemed like the most fit city. I felt out of place.
Yeah.
I stayed in the car.
I see that here a lot.
Yeah,
man.
Seattle does
I
suck.
ain't going out there with this belly.
5 a.m. and they're jogging. Man, come on, don't shame me. Don't shame me.
Every corner there was, someone ready to go.
I do that just to look like I'm working out. I stretch. I'm like, getting ready to get in a quick dog.
Then you walk past the pool and
then I
asking
sit
people where the gym is.
right back down.
See
Yeah,
the gym?
yeah. I'll find the division. I'm gonna take a couple days or a month or 3. I'll find it.
That's cool. That's a cool city to live in, man.
Yeah, man. I dig it. I
Cool
dig
city
it.
to live in. That's
Yeah.
where Bowen's at, right?
Yeah. Bowen
Right
is
outside.
definitely. Yeah, we got all the big hitters are out there.
There was another place. There was another thing there that I went to. It's Pie and Beer. There's a place called Beer and Pie or something like that.
Is it up on Capitol Hill?
It's somewhere downtown.
Okay.
And I know it wasn't San Francisco.
Yeah.
It was Seattle. Beer and Pie.
I don't doubt it because those are 2 great things.
I never
They can
had
make if
them.
they can blend them. I wouldn't put the 2 on in a, mix them in a blender, but
Right.
you can make it work. You can make it work.
So you came out here just for this?
Yeah, we've been all over the country covering things for the last year.
Really?
All the different events that have been taking place. Yeah.
Is it a
Live stream show?
You got one of your
live stream?
cards
That's
there?
cool.
Yeah. Oh, you go.
I love following people that do things like
Yeah,
that.
man.
On the
Fucking
road.
We'd actually just spent this all last 3 days in Vegas helping the homeless community there, just doing
Really?
handouts. And we teamed up with a team out of Bakersfield and some other folks that were other organization, a head group of the Heavy Hitters out of their chapter in Vegas and Bakersfield. And we had a team of about 20 of us. We just spent the whole weekend. We did a drive and
cool.
packed food, made hot lunch or hot meals, and then spent 3 days just helping
the
out. and it was
Friday,
great.
Black Friday after Thanksgiving, instead of shopping, my wife goes out and feeds the homeless.
Good on you.
She stays up all freaking morning and cooks all these meals.
Yeah.
She's Spanish. She knows how to cook for a man.
That's good. Lucky man.
That's why I can't hang out in Seattle.
You got that Spanish fit.
Yeah, this is all rice and beans, ladies.
Spanish rice and beans didn't miss him. There you go. So Mix-a-Lot said it.
That's basically what she does for that homeless.
That's great. I appreciate you doing that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
We live near Camden.
Okay.
Camden, New Jersey.
Joe Biden, endless corporate ignorance lets you control
Dirty
time. How do you feel about that?
Man,
Joe Biden said he was over 180 years old, man.
Acts and looks like that.
I don't know about that. They had a TV show. It was
and they were half of them were from Long Island.
Well,
Long Island, Staten Island, which is mostly all Italian and punkish kids. That's where they got those kids from. We're closer to Philadelphia.
Okay. Big shout out to Philly.
We're under the Trenton Belt. So.
Okay. The Trenton Belt.
Yeah, that's what I call it. Because once you pass there, it is a completely different life.
Really?
Completely. You got North Jersey, that's basically New York.
Yeah.
And you got South Jersey, which is basically the South.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 minutes from our house is a place called Cowtown.
Really?
Cowtown Rodeo.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a camper in the woods.
Yeah.
Like a vacation place.
Yeah.
Campsite.
You take the cow out of the city, but you can't take the city out of the cow?
That's right.
Something like that? I don't know.
Literally, within a state that you can get from point A to point B in 4.5 hours, you go from a city life to the south.
Jeez.
Pretty
Okay.
neat.
All right. Where you going?
Oh, they're opening the gate. I just
Oh.
You got new one?
Yeah, just some local black block here.
Like strategically playing this, the Jesus. I don't think so. I think they think there's no way this is working. You know what I'm saying?
This is Frank Nitty.
Hey, bro. Go tell bro to get off the mic, bro. He disrespected your God, bro. He did. Them the Trump, you know they got the Trump people, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who you with. I ain't trying to say it like that. But the Trump supporters is claiming Jesus now. As they way to not at all. Just don't stay away from them, dog.
You guys got him on a camera leash like a dog.
Hey, boss man.
I wonder why he's all sideways on his game.
Y'all been getting anything tangible, bro? Have y'all been getting anything tangible?
Yeah. Yes. We're broadcasting live, so the recording is there.
Where you from? That's what's up. I mess with you guys. Heavy.
Is DC just built sideways?
No, I mean you guys are. We rock together.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Is there a gnome saying something? No. A gnome on the mic. Hey, what's up, guys? Nitty, bro, your gimbal is all sorts of fucked up. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying, bro? Okay. I got it. You're a crackhead though. Let's see if any other streams are good.
Friends, when
I had a dream.
leaves this room, they're going towards the
We
Ohio
did the
clock.
disco funk dance.
Now, the Ohio clock has...
Why is it called the Ohio clock?
Well, it's interesting. A senator from Connecticut, Senator David Daggett, asked a clockmaker from Philadelphia, Thomas Voigt.
Ugh. Come on with the loading and the buffering.
To complete it. He does in 1816, but Ohio came to the Union in 1803. I don't quite get it.
It's a mystery, and no one knows the answer. This clock has come to be known as the Ohio clock. It stands in the Senate hallway, which we're going to be seeing the party passing through soon on their way to the rotunda for the presentation of gifts. We're just wrapping up the signing ceremony here. And so we're on the Senate side of the building in these hallways, which are beautifully decorated. Again, if we can call your attention to the floor for just a second. Minton tiles, they're an encaustic tile, which means that the way that they're glazed is a little bit different than the kind of tile we're used to in our kitchens and baths. They're made in Stoke-upon-Trent, England. They're custom made for the Capitol. Hallways lined with these.
More than one Garth Brooks. Fuck that. I'm gonna go back to crack instead of politics. Ha!
Don't just think that the members can walk on these aisles. You can. How? Visit Congress. Janet, I think the number one question that's asked of us, how do I visit Congress?
Line.
If not the question within the top three.
Son.
And depending on what part of the building you're in, you will likely
I got
walk
hairy legs.
on these tiles. They're not something that's
Kids.
sacred for the members. No, to the contrary.
That's
So
a
rub
great
it
point.
up,
The
rub my hair down and watch the hair come back up again.
On the first floor on the Senate half of the building, which
In the
we
pool.
won't be seeing on our cameras today, but we can normally take folks there on tour. The hallways were decorated.
I love
by
kids jumping on my
Constantino
lap.
Guidi, the artist who painted the frescoes inside the Capitol that we were looking at a little bit earlier.
I'm not done with this Ohio clock. So, ladies and gentlemen, there was a person known as the man with the green hat. Yes, during Prohibition, he used to sell alcohol in the House office buildings. It was known he had an office. He was exposed, and he moves to the Senate side. And legend has it, in the Ohio clock, spirits might have been kept in that clock, and members had access to it.
I mean, the period where alcohol sale, manufacture, distribution, except for medicinal purposes, the period when that was illegal in the United States was an interesting one here on Capitol Hill. And there are rumors all over of hidden compartments and various places where things must have been hidden, and they create this kind of mythology around this. And I gotta say, there are plenty of mysteries. We don't know why the Ohio clock is called the Ohio clock, but there are plenty of tales of this secret compartment is where, you know, they hid the contraband during the Prohibition period. But I think a lot of them more likely are just quirks of the architecture, because as we've discussed, this is a building that's been built in so many different pieces, and each piece added on to the...
Mouse, thank you very, very much. Thank you. Can I, before we start, hey, all the kids, You want to come up here and listen? Come on up here. Come up behind me. Because I'm not holding up between them and the pool, man. Come on. My name's Joe Biden, Vice President Biden. Everybody come on up and stand with me. What's your name? There's okay, Chair. Look, folks, I want to set the record straight on a couple things. I'll wait till everybody gets up here.
Hi.
You're on television, so be good. Okay? You are, yeah. See those television cameras?
Hi, Mommy. That's it.
All right. Can everybody be quiet for just
All right.
a minute? You're on TV, so...
We're going to watch the Corn Pop speech in full to celebrate this occasion.
Moment
But
of
first...
President Biden and VP Harris in the
Oh,
president's
were they going to
room.
talk?
They've just concluded the signing ceremony.
Are they just going to
Also
let
stored in
these
this
two
room are some
narratives talk?
gifts Congress received. There are some ceremonial...
Okay, just kidding. Thought they were going to speak.
You got to be quiet a little bit. Folks, look, I've received, because of the people of the state of Delaware, I've received an awful lot of wonderful honors all my career. The greatest honor was serving you for so long. But this does mean more to me than anything that's happened. My daughter Ashley's with me. My daughter Ashley got her first job down here at Kingswood out of school. She runs, she's a social worker. Bo is associated here. Anyway, the point I want to make is I owe you all. I owe this neighborhood. I learned so much. I was a kid from suburbia. I lived out in Mayfield in a split-level home with my grandpop living with us and in a 3-bedroom home with 4 kids, my grandpop. And folks, when it's a whole 100 years ago, but I was a senior in high school, and Przicki turned out to be a great athlete at the University of Delaware, but I was runner-up in the state scoring championship here in football. I wasn't bad either. And but I wanted to get more involved. And I realized I lived in a neighborhood where I'd turn on the television and I'd see and listen to Dr. King and others. But I didn't know any black people. No, I really didn't. You didn't know any white people either. That's the truth. So I wanted to work here. And there's my daughter Ashley. Come on up here, Ash. And so what I did was I came down and I applied to the city of Wilmington for a job. And I was the only white employee here. And I learned so much. I learned so much. I learned the folks that I work with, like Spencer Henry and Lafayette Jackson and a whole range of people. Jamie Rolls, a lot of great people who are my fellow lifeguards. There were 13 of us. I learned that they treated me. They treated me as an equal. We used to go in what was not as modern as that. We used to go in the key room at lunchtime after a free swim.
I gotta get something to drink.
Floor because it was nice and cool. And remember Boom Boom Cannon and a few other guys that worked here as well. And we sit there and we talk, and they'd ask me questions because I really was the only white guy they really knew. And they'd ask me questions about everything, things that just startled me. I remember one time, I won't mention which lifeguard, said, "Do I have a jerry can, a 5-gallon can for gasoline?" And I said, "No, I don't." I said, "But what do you need it for?" He said, we're going down to see my grandmama in North Carolina. We can't stop at most gas stations. They won't let us stop at most gas stations. I learned a lot. And I learned that it makes a difference. This was the diving board area, and I was one of the guards, and there was a 3-meter board. And if you fell off sideways, you landed on the darn cement over there. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, "Hey, Esther, you off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off. Well, he came off, and he said, I'll meet you outside. My car, these were all public housing behind it. My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors. Not a joke. There was a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pools. He was the mechanic. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, come down here in the basement where mechanics, where all the pool filter is. You know the chain, there used to be a chain that went across the deep end. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up, he said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. I said, you kidding me? He said, no, if you don't come back. And he was right. So I walked out with the chain. And I walked up to my car. And those days, you used to remember the straight razor. You'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in the rain barrel, get them rusty. And I looked at him, but I was smart then. I said, first of all, I said, when I tell you to get off the board, you get off the board, and I'll kick you out again, but I shouldn't have called you Esther Williams. I apologize for that. I apologize, but I didn't know that apology was going to work. He said, you apologize to me? I said, I apologize for that, not for throwing you out. You apologize to me? I apologize for what I said. He said, okay, close the straight razor, and my heart began to beat again. I came down here because I remember the first bumper sticker I saw that made me aware when I was in law school. Proudly for Holloway. Proudly for your dad. First African-American state senator in the state of Delaware. Everything about. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool. 4 years, baby. Down, so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, the men, they're now all men, the guys I work with down here, and they're all guys at the time. They're all good men. Most of them made an awful lot of themselves. And Earl Larkin had a rough time. And some of you knew Earl. I came back as a public defender. I came back to Delaware and I got a fancy job with the oldest law firm in the state. But the city was burning. It was burning down here. And I couldn't do it. So I quit and became a public defender. And the first trial I had, I walked into court as a public defender with another guy named Eddie Sobosinski, a defender. I'd only been admitted to the bar 1 week. And Earl Larkin was in chains around his ankles and on his wrist, and they were chained together, so on a belt. And he said, who's going to try the Larkin case? I just got started. And he was aptly named. His name was Judge Stiftel. And he said, Sobosinski said, well, that's my colleague. He just joined the public defender's office. He said, will you in fact defend him? So she turned to Larkin and said, he'll defend you. I said, whoa, Your Honor. I know nothing about the case. He said, I'll give you it till tomorrow, but you draw the jury today. And he looked at Larkin and he said, you mind if he represents you? And I'll never forget what he said. I learned a lot. He said, and I mean it sincerely. He looked at me and he said, one hunky's just as bad as any other. I'll take whoever you send me. And here's what I want to tell you about Earl. Here's what I want to tell you about the neighborhood and the heart. I defended him. He got beat up right on the other side of the field here. He walked along the tracks. He was a sailor in a sailor's uniform, the guy who he beat up and robbed. And so I thought he was innocent. I kept the jury out 5 hours, but they convicted him. And I felt so bad. So I go down to the old prison all the time. They had little wooden tables and two little chairs in a big dome you'd sit under where you'd be interviewed. And I was sitting there, Councilwoman, and the third time saying, I'm appealing this case. And finally he took the table, he flipped it up, and he said, jumped up, and the guards came and grabbed him. He said, don't you understand, Joe? I did it. But here's the point. He cared about me. This is a man who saw me bleeding because I saw this guy going to jail and I thought he was innocent. There's character, even in great problems. There's so much character in this neighborhood. There was so much character back then, too. So many people didn't get a shot. So many people didn't get a shot who could be standing right where Lisa's standing today a lot earlier, could be standing where I'm standing today. Let me end by saying, I was a pretty darn good lifeguard. Yeah, man. I taught swimming, too. And I remember going over, we used to play the other pools, and we played basketball at lunchtime, remember? We went over to Riverside, we played. And someone on the other team threw the ball to me by accident. And they looked at me and said, "Oh, God, I thought you were on my team." I'm thinking, I'm the only white boy within 20 miles. Remember, I had to get invited down to Baby Grand. I walk in and say, "Who's this guy?" And they say, "He's ours. He's ours." You've always had my back. The neighborhood's always had my back. And God willing, I've always had your back. And I'll always have it as long as I'm around. I love you. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. And if I were still a lifeguard, I'd say, time to get in the pool. Thanks, everybody. And Councilwoman, thank you so, so much for this honor. Thank you. So how you guys doing? Who here is going to be president someday? Raise your hand. All right. I'll tell you one more story on their way out. You know what? There was a guy, when I first started, black folks weren't even allowed to vote very easily. That's how long ago it was. And guess what I got to do? 8 years ago, I got to be in the Wilmington train station, looking over the 3rd Street Bridge that had been burned to the ground, most of it, thinking nothing was ever going to get any better 40 years ago. Waiting for a black man to pick me up, to take me 124 miles to be sworn in as President and Vice President of the United States. That's progress. We can make more. God love you all.
President, Madam Vice President, while the pandemic has sadly limited our usual hospitality, as others
this dude's a fucking
mentioned,
weirdo.
I'm very glad we still carry on some of our favorite inaugural traditions. It's my honor and privilege to help present these flags of our nation that were flown over today's event here at the Capitol. Now, I have to make one point of personal privilege on behalf of the Senate. With all due respect to our distinguished Speaker and our colleagues from the House, I have to note, not only did we just swear in a son and daughter of the Senate to these high offices, but indeed both these former senators skipped the House altogether.
Why is Nancy Pelosi's skin color purple? Didn't she just get her
The Star
adrenochrome?
Spangled Banner
Shouldn't
is
she
our
be like
greatest symbol of
normal
our
color right
endurance
now?
of the American idea. It flies over this building on triumphant days and on tragic ones, over all factions and all parties. And today this flag flew over our former colleague's inauguration as the very first female Vice President of the United States. So to our very distinguished former colleague, Madam Vice President, please accept this flag with the highest compliments.
I do not understand how people like Nancy
United
Pelosi even
States
ever got elected.
Senator McConnell here presenting
Fucking weird
flags that
Californians,
flown over
dude.
the Capitol today during the 59th inaugural ceremonies. Speaker Pelosi,
The
let's listen.
distinguished leader of the Senate pointed out that he has hosted this lunch for members of the Senate who have become
Nice.
president and vice president.
That was really
But
funny
I
and
have the
clever what you
privilege
said
of giving
there.
the flag to the president of the United States, the flag that was flown
camera.
when you were sworn in, Mr. President. This flag
Thank you.
May it reflect
Appreciate
all
it.
that is said about your inauguration. America united. May it be a symbol of the hope, the healing, and the just all of the enthusiasm that you have for our country. And as we heard the beautiful national anthem, when we're at the stadium and they say, is our flag still there? Then you say, play ball. Right there. Play ball. So we're going to get ready to play ball. We're ready to
Play
go
ball.
with the inspiration of our flag flying. But again, on behalf of the House of Representatives, it is my privilege to extend to you the flag that was flown the early moment that you were sworn in as President of the United States. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Dr. Biden. Thank you. If we had the lunch, we would have had California wine. Is that not right? Madam Vice President?
That is correct.
Mr. Emhoff, congratulations.
She's got withdrawal. She wanted to get drunk right now. Or maybe she had the pregame because she knew there was going to be wine. One of the two.
These gifts are presented by the JSIC on the behalf of the American people. We've just seen flags presented that were flown over the Capitol today. And the next gift actually will be photo portraits of the President and Vice President at the moment of their swearing in.
Is that his wife or daughter or handler?
Oh, so quickly.
Or
Printed.
some other bitch. Who's that blonde bitch?
Yeah, it was a real sprint. They have the mats all ready to go, and they just need to snap the photo in the moment and then get them printed and put the frames together.
Right? It's a good picture, too.
The Honorable
President
Kevin
Biden, Vice President Harris, Dr. Biden, and Mr. Imhoff.
Cheers, bitch!
On behalf of Republicans and congratulations. Very proud of you both. When President Washington was sworn in as the first president of the United States, only a handful of people saw the ceremony or heard the famous first inaugural address. Today, the inauguration is seen around the nation and indeed around the world.
Hey, Terraplane, thanks for asking. The donation button is underneath the stream.
Washington's time.
In the
I listened to your speech today.
Description of the video, buddy.
Tension and division. Our task as leaders is to bind this nation.
It'll even give you a TTS message that'll pop up on stream
all Americans
and everything. It's pretty sweet.
With modern technology, just a few minutes ago, it captured in these pictures. History in the making, for all the world to see. This picture should serve as a reminder of that task that we have before us. As a very proud son of California, it is my honor to present to a very proud daughter of California as well. Today, Vice President Harris made history, and all of America should celebrate that. But we should also remember that this is not the end, but just the beginning. As leaders, we are judged not by our words, but by our actions. So let's go forth from here together, accomplish great things for the American people. And every time you look at this photo, remember the beginning of the job we have to do. Congratulations.
Madam Vice President, Mr. Imhoff, Dr. Biden, Mr. President. No, Joe, you're Mr. President. And we are so proud of that. Dr. Biden, he makes you call him Mr. President?
He's looking at the
On behalf of the Joint Congressional Committee.
We're gonna. Oops. Yeah, that's fine.
What makes you come out? See, I think the interesting shot is all the cameras.
Well, yeah, the interesting shot. Like, I got the most interesting film out this shit, watching y'all exert white privilege. Like, all these people been out here this whole time. Y'all been standing around for like 2 hours straight.
Why did LA kick you out at Echo Park?
Hold on, y'all. As a white African, how do you feel about the Black Lives Matter issues as a white African?
living in this area right now, we do need to make sure that people.
She's recording on like an old school fucking cam. Look at this thing.
Apartheid at the inauguration.
We actually have a reverse racism at the moment.
Let's talk about apartheid. Biden became president.
There's no such thing that needs to take place. I do support making America great again. I hope we all do.
Do you know what the hat means, though?
She's so annoying.
I think your friend might be a little prettier, or maybe she's a little bit more white. They kind of followed her and stopped talking to you. I don't understand. I'm sorry. Is she prettier or something? Your white friend over there. Are you from Africa too? I like your hope thing or whatever.
I need to get this fucking setup.
Who's the leader of Antifa? I don't know.
If I ever go.
Why would y'all think she know anything about politics? They're white people from Africa. Why would they know anything about with a Trump hat on? Well, she's European American.
No, not even that.
Are you from Africa too?
No, she's not. She's a patriot.
Yeah.
Oppressed minority, right?
Huh?
Oppressed minority, right?
You said what?
Oppressed minority, right?
Right.
Other than that, I'm still gonna come in peace. I'm not violent and I'm not a hater.
As long as we have like media like this. But see, the only black people they showed was the girl that was naked. I'm just giving you shit. You're cool though. You're fine. Good thing you're having a good time about everything. But a white African though, I appreciate that. I wish you would understand what we fighting for though.
Fuck Robinette. Fuck Robinette. Fuck Robinette. How about that, chat? Someone remix that.
And I always say, Rafika, why did you come and play at my house? Since I didn't know what apartheid was. We were just kids.
But now that you know, do you support apartheid? Now that you know it is so why do you have a Make America Great hat on again?
What does MAGA have to do with the fuck with apartheid?
For black people in this country. Let me tell you a quick story.
Can I tell
Hold on real quick.
My own father was murdered by 3 black men.
By who?
By 3 black gentlemen broke into my father's house.
Her dad got killed by 3 black dudes?
I've been forgiven and I choose to forgive. That's why when I came here, I went and I ministered the gospel of Black Lives Matter. I've been to more than 11 black African nations.
Oh, interrupto. No interrupto. Uninterrupt. Fine. That's fine. This is okay. We're just straight following this chick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you concerned at all about? I mean, are you concerned at all about getting out of here?
No.
Did you and the other woman come together?
Yes, we rode a scooter together.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm not worried. I mean, I've been at all of these for the past several months. I've prayed and I've stood for America and for freedom. And honestly, the majority of people want peace. And yeah, there's violent people. You just have to be aware.
So are you happy with the transition?
No, not at all.
But you recognize this is a normal
transition? Yeah. I mean, it just happened. It wasn't a free and fair election. I can tell you that 110%. Knowing insiders who know the fraud on multiple levels, but it is what it is now, and I'm still going to fight the good fight of faith for America and stand for the policies and what I believe in. So
how does America move forward peacefully at this point? I mean, if you've got one faction saying that there is election fraud and they won't accept the new presidency, how does our country move forward?
Hey, I finally survived.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one who's going to come against America. I stand with our Constitution and I stand with our government leaders, but I don't agree that they were fairly brought in. So I'm just going to stand for what I believe in here.
How do you stand for what you believe in when the government has decided?
Yeah, I mean, the 2020 vision that I prayed for was the opening my eyes of seeing the intense corruption. And when Donald Trump was a wrecking ball to the
I gave my
swamp,
points away.
it exposed so much there. And so the man won in a landslide. He outperformed in every single area, and it's just unfortunate the way things have shifted. So
I mean, the question remains: how do we move forward then, when a portion of the country believes that?
Yeah.
That they believe that the election was not fair.
Yeah.
And they don't support the new presidency. How do we move forward?
Yeah.
Is there anything
Investigate
we
the
have
election.
between the two beliefs?
Make the Supreme
I hope
Court
so. I hope
take
that
the
there can
case.
be a bridge. I mean,
That's how
it's great.
people can move on.
It's very unsettling for conservatives and for the multiple millions who stood behind Trump to see what just transpired, because that is not what happened. And so my goal is I'm still going to support our country, and I'm still going to stand for life and for policies of freedom, because the policies that the person who was just sworn in on, he's not for America first. So I'm still going to stand for America first and fighting a good fight of faith.
Over 30
So,
lawsuits
okay,
for
thank
throwing
you.
out of the court. She keeps walking away from me all the time. I don't understand why.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Every time I tell her,
Even though I do believe in making America great again, I believe everyone should have that dream. Because that's what it's all about.
Can I ask you the same questions I asked her?
Try and just keep respect personal space. We don't mind giving interviews. But
I need some lyrics. I need to hear you rap. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I need to hear you rap. I can beatbox. I can beatbox. Rap.
I see you. All right. Peace out, buddy. I'm telling you,
We don't care about the
I'm
dream.
probably
I wanna
going to
hear
take
her
a
rap.
break at some point and come back and stream tonight at 7 or 8 or 9.
I want to hear
So
her
definitely
rap.
come back tonight to watch these protests. Thanks, buddy.
I see blind, I see tumors dissolve. Jesus died for your
Don't
sin
forget to
and your
subscribe
sickness.
and all that
And if
shit.
you believe in him and what he's done for you, you will not perish, but you will have eternal life. I bless every single person in administration, in government. This is about life and bringing life and seeing freedom of speech. We want to see pro-life. And so we just love that.
Why do you have that hat on? Why do you have that hat on?
Are not free. Undocumented people are not free. This man has been preaching the gospel here for months on end. I've been worshiping with him and
It's almost like they're going for their own personal paparazzi situation, you know?
It's interesting because I kept asking her, like, how do we move forward? How do she said, I just want to come out here and support what? I don't know. But I said, how do we move forward? How do we move forward? And they don't really have an answer because they don't think the election was fair. So,
Yeah.
but it is
Well,
interesting.
that's like, are you here to support or you're here to, like not agitate, I guess, but to debate or to,
Create a spectacle.
yeah.
I personally, as a woman alone, all I could think is that woman had really big earrings on, really big hoop earrings on. All it takes is one person to get rowdy and like yank. Like I wouldn't come out as a woman alone in a situation where I knew I was going to be a dissenting voice.
Yeah.
I mean, freedom of speech is great and all, but you have to be careful of your personal safety. I don't know why they didn't come out with that.
It is
Pretty
interesting to
ballsy.
me to come out here just to walk. Like they're not doing anything but just walking,
And they don't really have a message that they're sharing that's relevant, really.
But they're not really here to share a message until someone gets in their face, you know what I mean? So I don't think they came out. It doesn't seem like from what I'm watching. And I was kind of just standing back watching you kind of do your thing and listening to it just seemed like, people they were just out here walking. Not, granted, why would you walk here unless you wanted to like stir it up? Maybe that wasn't their plan, who knows, but that's what happened. But now they've got, I guess like agitated, attention is
What do they
just
want the
effective.
attention for? Is the thing. That's what I don't understand. Is what's the end objective there?
I don't know. Anyone in the feed? What do you guys think? Did you guys hear anything, or they're just like looking for something to, something to focus their attention on right now? And two ladies in Trump hats come walking through and got something to look at. something to talk about.
Some of the comments are saying that they're just trying to show that Trump's fans or their zealots or whatever, that they're devoted enough to coming to a place like this, you know, show that they're still active.
Huh.
I'm not saying it's right because it's consequence, but I think quickly.
Like kind of a.
I love to show support for him, let him know that they're
Sure.
or make, you know, create waves saying, yeah,
Yeah.
Trump still has like active supporters out there lobbying.
Oh my God.
They can't hear anything I'm saying. You have to repeat.
No, they can.
I don't.
I'm
Somebody
sure.
said they couldn't hear anything.
Mike picks up pretty well.
Agitators, that was the word.
Yeah.
Swap to Alex Chaser's stream.
So ain't nobody praying for me. I'm on your head.
Huh.
Biden's in the White House. Fun. Interesting. Is this where the Trump crowd rolls in and fucking storms the shit again? So my viewership could jump up 20x? The blonde, she's too fake. Look, she does have that kind of fake beach blonde look to her a little bit, but she's still good looking, even with that.
Damn you. Bro. Really? What the fork?
It's sneaker heels. This bitch is fashionable. White House. Fun. Interesting. Is this where the Trump crowd rolls in and fucking storms the shit again? So my viewership could jump up 20x? The blonde, she's too fake. Look, she does have that kind of fake beach blonde look to her a little bit, but she's still good looking, even with that.
Why wasn't they filming him? He's actually talking about the politics and the election and what's going on. Why does she have on the Trump hat? She's pretty, so they'll watch her while I talk. Because y'all gonna have to get to know her.
Everyone's following these two girls just because they are pretty. That is pretty funny. How high can you jump with those shoes? That's a good question. What are those? It's sneaker heels. This bitch is fashionable.
Whoa, that shit looks crazy.
Pretty blonde Trump woman is fashionable. Bam, right here. This is everything. This man is everything that you need to know. She can dunk, I'll bet. They're like men in a bar right now. Yeah, pretty much. I just want the pretty blonde girl to talk to. King Dude is desperate. My chat says King Dude is hot. King Dude's actually telling people to stop following him the whole time. He's telling people not to incite. You're gorgeous. I disagree with your politics, but you look good.
Puts a lot of makeup on, like a drag queen.
She does have that too much makeup fake thing a little bit, but behind that she still looks good.
White women that look 25 with makeup on. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see under that. She's 47.
She looks good for a 47-year-old.
Makeup looks nice.
Fair enough.
Wake up, half her face gonna be on your pillow.
Fair enough.
All this shit gonna be on her pillow. Your face print.
We're now debating whether or not the girls are hot or if they just have too much makeup on. I'm going with they're hot. Show us King Dude's shoes. That's some dope shoes. Your voice is annoying as fuck. I've been told I sound like Raymond.
He really loves going with that Raymond thing. Chisel chat. He was doing that last night too. Raymond.
Pour one out. Are you gonna storm the Capitol today, ma'am? When are we storming the Capitol, sexy bitch? She has an Australian accent. Didn't notice. Now we're debating whether or not the girls are hot. Fun. Good times. Dude looks like a lady.
You don't trust cyclists from delivering food? LOL. He's an asshole. No one's fucking with him while he's recording.
South African accent. My apologies. How about that police precinct? Let's burn another one. Sure, why not? Alright, we have a small crowd of people still remaining here, just scattered around the roads aimlessly with nothing to do.
Dang, chat.
So is Biden like officially the president now? Are we done with that? There's been no Biden inauguration talk at this whole thing. Yes. Oh, good to know. Man, you guys make me so happy to be Canadian. Good on you being Canadian. Yes, the fake president, says Armando. Biden has already signed 3 proclamations. Wonderful. I hope the man
I'll get him to say my name.
Does well. The blonde tramp is a man in drag. Fair enough. They look good to me.
We'll get him to say me name. Like a minute behind because of the leg, so it doesn't ever have to buffer, hopefully.
Alex sucks cock, so he don't care either way. Couldn't be more true. Did you make up those cards with your stream name? Nope. Alex, there has to be more action somewhere. I'm trying to find it. This is the main crowd on this street.
Any conflicts?
Where we've been for a while.
No.
Wait for dark. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, we gotta wait for it to get dark.
Batteries in my pocket. I could film
sure.
Until this thing is over. Can you say my name, Alex Chaser? Hello, shizbang. Thank you for being here.
Woo!
Antifa is coming. I hope so.
I did it. Cheers to me, chat.
Interview the man with the stop hating sign. Where is he at? He's not playing copyright music currently, so let's go.
That's right, chat.
See what the man has
Still
to say.
doing it. I'm still that guy that can get streamers to read my messages. I've been doing that shit since day one, chat. You gotta clip it. It's gonna survive. It's gonna live on. As long as this video doesn't get blocked for DMCA,
I'm not in the business of telling
it'll
people
live
to pull up
on.
their pants.
And even if it does get blocked, I still have it. I still have access
can
to
do what he
it.
likes.
And I'll clip it or something. And then I'll just post a clip. Dude, one day, I've gotten a lot of people to say my name on the internet, alright?
People could do what they like
In front of a camera. One day, when I'm a big streamer, my intro, part of it, is going to be a clip of a bunch of shorter clips of people saying shizbang. Streamers saying shizbang. Or anybody on camera. So it'd be like, shizbang, 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 shizbang. But really fast, over and over. Different camera, different streamers on the camera. It'll be cool.
Dick.
You can't see? Wait, Corinne's thing? Oh, did you see? I got Corinne to shout out Joey.
Oh shit, she's fucking rapping.
Yeah, Darian, Supercut, that's right. You're asking me if I'm gay and your name is Jack Me Off? Corinne, man. And then she just went on off about the FBI or something. LOL.
Damn, pretty and talented.
Okay.
What more could you want?
Let's move this up here so we don't miss any of this twerking action.
You're still going.
What is she singing? How many of the Pro Trump people left? You're look. She's right there. Oh, Darian, yeah, like that. But I have this special skill where I can get people to read shit on camera. I do it all the time, and because I restream, and as long as I'm not banned off someone's channel, I'll try to like talk to them sometimes. Sometimes I do this thing where if people donate messages, I will type that message in chat. But you know, it is what it is. But I gotta get clips of people saying shizbang, more clips of it.
Rainbow coat lady drunk, question mark. Rainbow coat lady attention whore.
Isn't that a guy?
Self-proclaimed attention whore, the rainbow lady. Rainbow head lady.
Is that not a man?
Side titties hanging out. Not sure if I can film that for the YouTube.
Oh, that is a chick.
Beret Trump hat. Brunette Trump hat. You guys could argue with each other whether you think they're fucking good looking or not. I stick with them being good looking.
Lindsay, is you deaf? Do it for Jesus,
two
Lindsay.
Trump gals and Rainbow Crackhead Barney babbling at each other about something. rainbow chick is hot. Agreed.
Look at that face. Look at that face.
There's no hot dudes there. This is unfair. What a shame for the 3 pretty women. Rainbow lady is on the floor convulsing.
She's on the floor convulsing? What? She's okay. Order more beer. Ordering.
Grace.
This sucks. You know what sucks in America? She's okay. Yeah. Marcy, if you're ordering more beer, I want you to know right now, I'm going to be taking a break and getting back on later tonight. Just so you know. So don't save some beer for later and don't get all drunk and shit. Or if you're not gonna drink, if I'm not streaming till later, order the beer later then. Or just do whatever the fuck you want.
Rainbow is
I'm not here to tell you what to do. Woo! Yeah, I gotta take a break because I have to eat some food, take a nappy, and get back on the stream all night. Let's see. So it'll be a 3-hour morning stream and then, who knows, 6-hour nighttime stream or some shit.
Rainbow is a literal demon.
Our logger. Oh god. Space Chicken. Activate. Put your pants back on, ho.
Rainbow Girl is having a religious experience after the godly singing.
The Trump chick's covering her up.
The Trump hat girl is covering up the rainbow woman as her side boob is hanging out during her convulsion.
I don't want to show this on my channel, chat. Covering her up with the Space Chicken as best we can.
What the fuck is happening? I don't know. You tell me.
What is happening?
What is happening? Let me recap. They sang Amazing Grace, and now the rainbow-coated woman is having some kind of religious experience.
This is not fucking real. Is this real? This is really happening right now, chat. This is not fake. I mean, she is on drugs or something. She's really on drugs in DC right now.
She's on some drugs. Nope. Believe it or not, she's not on drugs.
Oh my god. This is Jack Me Off's girlfriend, I
Someone
found
get her
out.
some Instagram followers. That's what she's looking for. Alright, her tit is fucking hanging out. I don't think I could film this. Whoops. Point away for a minute while she fixes her
Stop
titties.
filming titties, bro. What is he doing?
How do you know she's not on drugs? Because she does this all the time. She's trying to promote her Instagram and shit. Her Instagram is Crackhead Barney and Friends. Make sure to give her a follow.
So she plays a crackhead
So
on the
she does
street
drugs
for
all the
clout?
time. Maybe, I don't know.
She's either actually on crack
24/7, don't
or
stop.
pretending to be on crack, but either way, not good.
To each their own. I agree. She's buzzed AF. Yeah, maybe. Maybe she's just naturally buzzed AF. Who knows?
I doubt it. That is unnatural, what we're looking at here.
Wow, need to lock her up. Lock her up for what? What crime did she commit? Alright, we got a little dance party going on in the corner.
Ugh.
Indecent exposure. Alright. Take her to jail for the indecent exposure, I guess.
At least we have some real drums here.
I think it's shaking. Where are you from, Alex? I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
It's Jover, buddy.
Talking to the chat.
It's officially Jover, my friend. And as a matter of fact, this is America Now, chat. What you're looking at, alright? Press F. Biden's America, everybody. Did you see this? Let me see if I can find it.
Where did everyone go? Yes, many have dispersed at this point. Let's go up the block and see if anyone's still here.
Okay, take care, man. You too.
Still have a small crowd of people here. Looks like most have dispersed.
Is this guy riding on a fucking scooter or some shit? This guy is skateboarding or some shit.
Oh my god, mountain board gang rolling in. I think there's a group at BLM Plaza. I did see people going that way. Let's see if anyone's at BLM Plaza. Agree, it's only going to ramp up. Well, most of the people have left that general area where we were, but I'll stick around for a while, see if there's still people around. The calm before the storm. Who knows? These things tend to get rowdier. It gets dark out, so we will see. You guys know where BLM Park is? Yeah. Alright, thank you. I'm gonna go this way, I'm sure I'll find it. Ask them where the war is. Where is the war? You guys going to BLM Plaza? Is that where everyone's headed now, or are people leaving? No idea. Alright. Next street up and go west. Alright. I would type it into my GPS on my phone if I wasn't streaming. How cold is it? Not crazy cold. It's like 40 something degrees.
I have 4 dislikes. What are you gonna do? I only have 11 likes, so it's like a 50% dislike ratio. It's just some weird lefties. I don't know how 4 of them got here, but it is what it is, chat. Oh yeah, I'm fucking broke. I have to do low amounts. Janny, do whatever you want, man. I cannot tell you what to do. People ask me sometimes if they should do something or what they should do. But I tell them, you're a grown-ass person and you can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't have any advice for you.
You guys know where BLM Plaza is?
Yeah, I think it's around the White House. I don't know.
The other side of the, so I go straight?
Just north. This way, the White House. Here's the White House. Turn right. Just behind.
Okay, thank you.
Should go to a band audition? Yeah, you should. Definitely go. Should you cut your dick off? No.
He's in the major.
Why are you guys asking me what to do? I just got. What did I just say? Chat. What did I just fucking say? Get it together, chat. Fuck. Camera.
That rebel.
Jenny, do whatever the
like
fuck you
wrong
want.
way in
Take
the
it
bike
then.
path. Yep.
Cut off your little tiny micro dick. Is it time for Mario 64? No, it's not gonna be time for Mario 64 until after midnight. In a little bit here. Let me see if. What is this guy doing? Biking? Let me get a better stream.
Now that you left the
First
Jesus
of all,
homies,
step one.
just got back up and are pontificating again. Well, if no one's at BLM Park, I'll come back.
Oh, he's
Watch them
driving
pontificate.
to BLM Park, whatever that is. Yo, this leg is outrageous, chat.
Looks like 28 days later. Yeah, no one's out. Because Corona.
What stream is this? Okay. Chat, let me check something. Okay, whatever. Hold on.
What up? Is everyone going to BLM Plaza? I would just say there's nobody there. No one there.
There we go. Fix that.
70 press and like.
Get this.
Do you know which way it is? I'll go check for myself, I guess.
Fuck me. CJ, you cuck.
Okay, got it.
It's not that far.
Thank you. See ya.
PDX Ninja, why did you haul your ass all the way
There's a small crowd
from
there,
the Pacific
but
Northwest
a lot of people left.
to the country's capital?
I didn't see them. They might be in there.
That's what I'd like to know.
Officer such and such and shit.
Great.
Such, this is such.
Right.
Play, bro.
We're here to investigate.
Jesus. Oh my good God.
Capital.
I'm not getting any love from these fucking streams.
So yeah, we got one flag right here that's halfway down, and the rest
Jenny,
are like all the way up. I
don't you mean deep press?
What kind of flag is that up there? Is that up? No, I'm just talking shit.
Yeah, true.
Climbed all the way up there and put a Black Lives Matter flag.
Black Lives Matter.
Fuck Trump sign way over there.
Oh, fuck. That shit.
Did they bust y'all in just for this?
Right?
What'd you do? Oh, nothing. Stood around.
Stood around with my gun. So. Why is Rosa sad, guys? I'll let Rosa explain that, okay? I know I was there. Phil's ready to explain that. I'm not gonna, you know, put the story out there like that when, you know, she's feeling uncomfortable about it. So I'm not gonna do it. If she wants to go. But yeah, I mean, the situation was really fucked.
Okay, Ninja. You're fucking with me at this point.
How they do?
I think it's a shitty internet.
Hell yeah.
That long, huh? So, stay up, kid.
Yikers!
I don't even know. We're safe on this side.
Yeah, I know, right?
You all gotta see what they do.
Right? They're loading up right now.
Yeah, this is their shitty internet down in DC. Nothing I can do about it, chat.
No? Come on. Black lives don't matter, bro. You don't run the street, bro. Calm down. Mad ass dude. Black lives matter, right? What's wrong with you, dog? You got no authority. None whatsoever out here. How you doing, King?
Hell yeah.
Got no authority.
Yeah, some of them got a stick up their ass.
No, you ain't got no authority out here, though. Let's keep going this way, matter of fact. What's up, King? Black lives matter, right? Feeling good?
Hell yeah.
Black lives
Damn.
Black lives matter. Don't forget.
Hell yeah. I love it when the troops can say that.
We ain't gonna attack the state building. Fuck y'all up.
Right? For real though.
Alright, bro. You gotta be on it. Come on, Black Lives Matter. Come on, bro. Okay, I know his big white ass.
Yeah, no. He was just stirring the whole time.
No, no Black Lives Matter for you either. Black Lives Matter, right? Black Lives Matter?
Hell yeah.
Black Lives Matter, right? Black Lives Matter, right? Black Lives Matter, right? Black Lives Matter?
Fist up, that's what's up.
Let's check out Frank Nitty's chat. Stream. It's that dude right in front of him.
Black Lives Matter, right? Have a good day.
Black Lives Matter.
Maybe it's less leg.
What about you? Black Lives Matter?
Black Lives Matter.
Thank you. Said, bro. They ain't gonna make you cut your mustache off if you say Black Lives Matter, bro.
Black Lives
Matter. That Hitler mustache popping off, bro. Black Lives Matter. Come on,
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, that was funny though, right? Yeah, I know.
Ooh,
how y'all doing?
Verticals.
Like she been advising black people. He just tired of the shit. Look, he just want to walk with them.
Ninja,
like,
tell his ass to fucking make his shit
She
horizontal.
fucking knows nothing. He like,
That's all
he like, I don't even want to stand next to this lady. She keep on trying to tell me what to do. White people like, just listen to her. It's your way to success.
Just kidding. We'll just deal with the short amounts of leg chat.
Look at all these beautiful structures.
Right.
It don't matter if they take me seriously. It don't matter.
They really don't. Seriously.
You know who take me seriously? The 82 million people that voted for Biden.
Right.
They take me seriously. All the people across the country that are using images for voting for Democrats, or all the interviews that I did or my speech towards voting period in Washington D.C.
Straight up.
Or the billboards that they
Oh, shit. I'm eating a meatball sub for lunch, since someone early on in my chat was talking about subs. From Cousins. On garlic bread.
Got past here, going to Atlanta to make sure the Christians are prepared for the runoff election. Those are the people that take it serious. I don't care if they don't take it seriously. Because they taking me so seriously that all the people that truly follow and support what I do, they wouldn't vote. People that never voted me.
Nitty, he's an activist, alright? He can say whatever he feels like. Not a journalist like I am. He is an activist. He can say...
Those are the people that take.
Shit.
I don't care if other people don't take me serious. I really don't. Because
Is Miss Ninja watching? She was a little bit. I don't know if she still is.
Me and Stacey Abrams and all the rest of the black individuals that was fighting for Taylor Swift, they took us so serious that Trump ain't in office no more.
Right?
All I know is 4 years ago, I dedicated my life to fighting.
He went to DC to hang out in his hotel room and do art. That sucks. What a boring loser, that guy. Ugly, too. Weird ass. Unstable ass.
Black Lives Matter, right?
Hell yeah.
Right. Voters believe this.
I think any normal human with common sense would agree with you.
Shit, we got 75 million people that don't have common sense.
That's a big problem.
75 million people voted for Trump, so they didn't have common sense either.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's Nitty. King Nitty.
Our votes got taken serious.
Yeah, straight up.
White people. You're like, wait a minute.
The reason why all these
black votes count?
Right?
Those actual black votes count? Wait, hold on. Ours aren't worth 2 and theirs. Aren't worth 1? What do you, no, we gotta recount this.
Yeah, straight up, that's how they like.
No fucking way. Walk into what I think is really my car. Oh, it's that way. That's the little park I was talking about.
Gotcha. All right. Great. Right? Yeah, seriously. Yep.
People got and they sleeping on the ground in tents. It ain't even like homelessness has gotten so bad that people are actually creating homes outside. Think about
Right?
that.
For real,
people
though.
used to sleep on the ground, try to get help, try to get through their problems, sleeping on the ground and all that. People are like really building homes out of tents and stuff. Alternate electricity and shit. Like all kind of shit.
Chat,
Yeah.
I'm cutting out. So listen up. We will be back live once again tonight at 7 or 8 or 9 p.m. It depends. Either early or later. Depends on some shit. So, everybody, it's all Gucci. We're chilling. But this stream is over. It's Jover. And we will be back again today, later on, after I eat some food and do some shit, alright? Keep it real, bitch. And we will see you guys in the next episode.